Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage CEO of AT&T Business, tonight's MC, Ann Chow.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh, it is so wonderful to see all of you in person here, and to our audience live stream, great shout out to you. On behalf of United Way of Metro Dallas, I would like to welcome you to The Pitch. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We're so excited to have a live audience here at Gillies Dallas. Round of applause for Gillies Dallas. And all of the change makers joining us from across the Metroplex live via live stream. Welcome. My name is Ann Chow, and I am the CEO of AT&T Business. And I am so honored to be serving as this year's United Way's campaign chair and your MC for the evening, for those of you who are repeats yet again. Before we get too far into the program, there is something that I've got to do. Anyone up for a selfie? Yeah? Okay. So here we go. All right. House lights, selfie. The pitch! Thanks, everyone. And thank you to all of you who are AT&T customers out there. Just had to get that in there. Okay. I'm going to post that on Twitter. All right. So now, won't you guys join me in getting the hashtag Innovate United trending tonight? That's what tonight is all about. So let us get this party started. AT&T is one of America's pioneer innovators, which is why we are so proud to be the presenting sponsor of this event for the 6th year, and to support the fantastic work, the fantastic work that United Way is doing around social innovation. As you know, our programs and partnerships, United Way is all about focusing on addressing the challenges in education, income, and health. And getting to the root of these challenges requires innovative approaches. Tonight, you're going to hear from 5 social entrepreneurs who are creating the type of innovative solutions that zero in on some of the community's most pressing challenges and the opportunities in education, income, and health. These organizations have gone through a year of intensive programming through the United Way's Social Innovation Accelerator, powered by Accenture. This program, which launched back in 2013, is designed to help organizations scale their impact and growth, specifically through 3 steps. First, they go to an 8-week boot camp powered by our sponsor, Santander. Second, they are part of a milestone accelerator where the organizations work with mentors to achieve their key goals. And third, now, they've arrived here at the pitch competition, where they've been selected as the top 5 organizations from their total cohort. So these contestants have been preparing for months. So let's take a look back on their road to the pitch.
At United Way of Metropolitan Dallas, we're leading a movement to improve access to education, income, and health. They're really the building blocks of opportunity. Social innovation is at the heart of everything we do because it's one of the best ways to drive lasting change. Part of our leadership in the social innovation space includes identifying and amplifying local change agents. That's because social entrepreneurs look at things completely different. They know their communities and what's needed to make real progress. Every year, we invite 10 entrepreneurs to participate in our Social Innovation Accelerator. This collaboration with Accenture allows them to scale their ventures and expand their impact in our community.
Since its creation in 2013, the United Way Social Innovation Accelerator has invested more than $5.9 million in funding, training, and mentoring for 64 North Texas social entrepreneurs.
At Accenture, we believe in the power of innovation, applying the latest technologies to transform the way the world works and lives, to make our world a better place. We see the value of investing in social innovation, helping create and incubate new ways to make North Texas a more equitable place. And working with United Way and our mentors, the Accelerator brings innovation to life.
The program has enabled participants to refine and grow their businesses and go on to positively impact more than 150,000 North Texans over the last 9 years. Our diverse alumni are transforming North Texas in a variety of innovative ways. They're teaching students in low-income areas to code, providing job placement for people with criminal records, building an urban farm and market in the middle of an underserved community, and so much more. With the support of United Way's community connections and credibility, alumni of the Social Innovation Accelerator have gone on to raise an additional $30.1 million, build more than 800 partnerships, and receive national recognition. At the end of the months-long program, United Way selected 5 finalists to compete for additional funding at the pitch. And tonight, those finalists will take the stage and vie for prizes totaling $270,000 and the title Social Innovator of the Year. As part of our live audience, you will help decide who comes out on top. Together with our judges who are leaders in business, philanthropy, and innovation, you'll get to cast your vote for the best idea for improving our North Texas community. So, are you ready to see who wins Social Innovator of the Year?
Wow, I am so excited and so inspired to hear from our 5 finalists. Are you? I hope so, yeah. What an incredible journey it's been over these past few months. And a huge thank you to everyone who's been involved in this Social Innovation Accelerator, from the Innovation Lab Committee to the mentors out there, the sponsors, United Way staff, supporters, and so many more. Clearly, innovation takes an incredible village. So tonight's format will be a quick introduction of each organization. They'll each have exactly 5 minutes to pitch, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And to the judges out there, remember, only 5 minutes. I'm going to be working hard to be your timekeeper for the evening. The judges are going to be evaluating each organization based on impact, sustainability, innovation, and presentation. And after all 5 have completed their pitches, you, our live and live stream audience, and the judges will cast your votes, choosing who will receive the prizes this evening. So tonight, there are a total of $270,000 US up for grabs, over $250,000. Each of our organizations will walk away with an accelerator prize of $25,000 for making it to this stage. But you and the judges have the power to decide who will receive the additional $145,000. First, the judges' overall scores will determine our 2022 Social Innovator of the Year, the top award winner, who will walk away with an additional $60,000 in funding for their organization. Then, your collective audience vote will determine the recipient of the $25,000 Audience Choice Award presented by Sarah and Gary R. Voting will also go live at the conclusion of the pitches, so make sure that you locate the QR code in your program or on the event page to cast your vote. And as if that wasn't enough, our finalists will each be eligible for 4 additional awards this year. First, the organization with the highest score in the category of organizational sustainability, as evaluated by the judges, will win the Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, presented by Satori Capital for $20,000. The organization with the highest score in the category of impact, as evaluated by the judges, will receive the Impact Award, presented by Toyota for $20,000. And the most innovative organization, as voted by United Way's March Tocqueville Fellows, will receive the Innovation Award, totaling $10,000. And finally, the organization with the best presentation, as voted on by Teens United, will receive the Presentation Award for $10,000. How very exciting for our finalists to walk away with these game-changing investments in their work this evening. So, joining us tonight are 5 amazingly wonderful judges who are great friends of United Way. First, I'd like to introduce the CEO and President of Hunt Investment Holdings, LLC, and the co-CEO of Hunt Consolidated. He, along with his wife, Ashley, founded the Kleinert Family Foundation, through which their entire family have generously supported social innovation at United Way for several years. Please welcome Chris Kleinert. Our next judge is joining our panel for the very first time this year. Currently, Toyota Financial Services GM and product owner for Kinto Link, she has an extensive background holding leadership roles under innovation, strategy, development, and organizational design for global IT. Please join me in welcoming Billy Joe Johnson. Welcome. And please join me in welcoming the CEO of PepsiCo Foods North America, overseeing all aspects of their snack and convenient foods business, including Frito-Lay North America and Quaker Foods North America. He has played an integral role in launching United Way's Southern Dallas Thrives initiative, which continues to grow and deepen its impact. He also serves on the United Way Board of Directors. Please join me in welcoming Stephen Williams. Now, someone who is no stranger to innovative ideas, she conceptualized and launched Reward Style, now known as LTK, at the age of 23, which is now a leading technology platform powering commerce for more than 5,000 brands and 150,000 global influencers. She was named one of Entrepreneur Magazine's top female entrepreneurs, 15 female entrepreneurs to watch. Please welcome Amber Venz-Box. And finally, representing Accenture, the longtime presenting sponsor of the Social Innovation Accelerator of United Way, we have here with us United Way board member and Accenture's Dallas office managing director, Jorge Corral. Welcome, Jorge. And to all of our judges, thank you all so much for being here with us and investing your time. Okay, so now that we've met the judges, let us meet our finalists. The first competitor you will hear from tonight is Jennifer Searles from Veritas Impact Partners.
Veritas Impact Partners has made huge gains during our time in the Social Innovation Accelerator. It's because of the leadership, the mentorship, and the access to critical thinking about how to build infrastructure, how to scale, and how to replicate. That's been the change that we needed. I've been serving in the nonprofit industry for 18 years. I'm a mission-minded soul. But more than that, I know what it feels like to be a working family living on a financial tipping point where one $500 emergency can have a catastrophic result. Health access is a crisis in this country and a crisis here in Dallas. We live in the highest uninsured county in the nation. The reality for our working families is right now in the country, it's an average 21-day wait to access a healthcare professional. Veritas Impact Partners serves working families living paycheck to paycheck. We partner with apartment owners and bring fully integrated resident services focused on health, education, and economic advancement to the living room of every resident. With free telehealth services, Veritas Impact Partners is helping families take charge of their health, their home, and their future.
Veritas Impact Partners is rapidly addressing the critical need for health access in our vulnerable populations. Health access simply means, can you get to the doctor when you need one, and how do you pay for that care? Veritas has partnered with the nation's largest provider of telehealth services, and we deliver immediate health access to the living rooms of working families. These are families living on a financial tipping point. They are the neighbors you and I interact with every day, the wait staff, the grocery store clerk, the lawn care team, and more. They are families living paycheck to paycheck, where one illness, one $500 emergency can have a catastrophic result. I know what it feels like to live on this edge. My son was critically ill, struggling to breathe, and my bank account was overdrawn. It was 5 long days away from payday, and I packed my son up, taking him to the bank, placing him on the ledge, and I begged. I begged a teller to please cash my check so I could take my son to the doctor instead of applying it to overdraft fees. I am the single working mother and the renter. My story echoes the 40% of Texans who cannot afford all their bills. Here in Dallas, we live in the country's highest uninsured county, and health disparities are pervasive in our minority populations. Veritas is taking bold, innovative action to address these needs. We partner with apartment owners to deliver immediate health access to the living rooms of working families. Here's how it works. Families download the telehealth app and then begin accessing board-certified physicians able to deliver free primary care services in 25 languages to their living room. You see, the realities of working families are 40-minute commutes, 30-minute lunch breaks, and limited paid time off. Veritas addresses every barrier: cost, time, transportation, and language. We use a diverse, multilingual team, quickly able to build trust, standing in the doorways, the kitchens, and the living rooms. At the start of the Accelerator program, we served 400 households and 1,200 individuals. Today, we serve 6,500 households and 20,000 individuals. We don't need years, building permits, or capital funds. We deliver immediate health access to vulnerable families. And tonight, here in North Texas, there are 1 million uninsured families. Veritas stands ready with immediate health access for their living room. And beyond that, when families access doctors, they earn more money. They have better school attendance. They build equity in their futures. Our board, our founders, and our team have a vision to replicate, scale, and offer a sustainable solution to communities throughout the nation. Your vote tonight can empower a national transformation in the living rooms of working families. But most importantly, your vote tonight is not about a hope, a maybe, or a theory. Your vote tonight is not about serving 5, 10, 15, or 100. Your vote tonight is a promise. It is a promise of health access for hundreds of thousands of living rooms. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Amber, let's start with you for our 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's incredible the problem that you're solving. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. Got it? Great. I love your multilingual approach and that you're in the living room. It shows just real awareness of the customer that you're serving. I really love the marketing efficiencies by tapping into these atomic networks where you have the apartment complex, you have peer influence, you have a scaled sales approach. Those are both all incredible things. Telemedicine certainly solves real issues, as you noted. So I have two questions that are combined. How much have you raised to date? And with a $1 million annual budget, how should we think about how those dollars are allocated?
Thank you, Amber, so much for your comments and your question. So we offer a real sustainable model. We have a shared cost model where apartment owners pay for the telehealth services and Veritas delivers the program management. That means approximately 60% of our budget comes from service fees and 40% comes from fundraising and private philanthropy. To date, we've raised nearly 47% of our budget, our fundraising budget, excuse me.
Jennifer, how are you prioritizing growth? It's amazing what you've done in 18 months and what you're going to do in 9 more months. How are you prioritizing where you go? And so, for example, are you targeting certain zip codes where the need may be greatest?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that question. So we serve workforce housing residents that typically make 60 to 80% of average median income. That usually means they're in those high-need zip codes. So for example, here in Dallas, the third worst uninsured zip code is 75220. It's by Bachman Lake. We have nearly 1,000 units we are serving on that area. We're here in Texas. We want to grow nationally. We have begun some scaling to Georgia as well.
I love the innovation, and I love your mindset also. Question, what would prevent you from scaling, one? And two, what's the incentive for the apartment owner? What does the apartment owner get?
Thank you again for your question. So our number one need right now is growth capital. With growth capital, I can serve 3,000 households tomorrow. Our second need is human capital. Specifically, we need strategic thinkers to join our board to help us look at what is the best next market to scale to. But apartment owners join with us for a couple simple reasons. Number one, they know that health is a better investment than granite countertops. Number two, we are their S in their ESG plan. We offer real data-driven results. And number three, we help them become the corporate social partner that they hope to be. We help change the communities by showing an industry, frankly, how they can be socially responsible, investing in the lives of their residents.
Jennifer, I have a question for you. First of all, it's wonderful what you're doing. So you said 47% of your fundraising has been met so far, is that right? 47%?
Yes.
Okay. And so is that tracking to target?
We're right about on target, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Jennifer? Okay, great.
I do have one.
Go ahead.
First of all, I just really appreciate how you've brought innovation to such an important challenge that our community has. So as I would just applaud the innovation, I really am impressed with the scale, how quickly you've scaled. So my question's around scale. Like, are there any things you think of that might limit your ability to keep growing to 10,000 and beyond?
Well, like every organization in the country right now, one of the limiting factors is finding and retaining staff. So we continue to want to build a strong team culture. Every one of our current staff members is bilingual. Every one of our current staff members has a case management background, and every one of our staff members is completely virtual. So we are learning along with others on how to retain and attract staff. So that would be one.
And now we're out of time. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Jennifer and Veritas Impact Partners. Thank you. What an incredible mission to deliver the gift of health by addressing the key barriers of benefit literacy, technology, user challenges, and customer engagement. Okay, so next up, we have Joseph Vincelli of the Artist Outreach.
I've been a musician my whole life. I love music. I've found out that I was pretty good at it, so I kept doing it more and more. And so when I got to college, it's at that point that I realized that music had an incredible impact in our world outside of entertainment. And when I learned that it could help education and educators, then I wanted to be able to do more with that. A lot of times, they're not set up to use music and the arts as an engagement tool to learn. But what we're trying to do is fuse the two together so that it becomes a more holistic type of teaching. That's what started me to get excited about the opportunities for the Artist Outreach. The Artist Outreach uses the creative arts as a way to engage kids to learn better. We work directly with the teacher and the principals and even the school district and learn their lesson plans for that week. So we create poems and songs and dances that are all based around that. And so, of course, it's fun, it's playful, it's exactly what you'd want as a 6-year-old. When I decided to join the Social Innovation Accelerator program, I had been attracted by some of the fellows that had won in past years. They said, you really should apply because there's so much that you'll learn. Well, the executive training has been awesome, what we call the boot camp. It has catapulted what we have going already. We have a very defined message now. I have much more support, and we see a lot of great things moving forward.
Students like Vincent, who are not proficient in reading by 3rd grade, have a 6 times greater chance of not graduating high school. Now, what does that mean? Well, imagine not being able to read a menu or fill out a job application or be able to reply to emails confidently. Vincent is one of thousands of DFW students who's not reading ready, and it could be that he doesn't know the English language well enough. Maybe he has learning challenges, or it could be due to the effects of the pandemic. Hi, I'm Joseph Vincelli. I'm the chief executive and the founder of the Artist Outreach. And for those thousands of students like Vincent, we have an innovative patented solution to help solve this problem. We're an education-based organization that teaches both math and language inside the classroom using music and other arts as engagement tools. Our transformative methods teach academics differently so that everyone's on the same playing field. We partner with teachers and administrators and use their lesson plans as guidelines. Our staff of creatives then come up with songs, poems, dances that are all based around math and language skills, and then we teach them in a fun and playful manner. In 9 years, we have impacted over 100,000 students, mostly in Title I schools, and 65% of them are students of color. Currently, we serve over 75 schools, that's including Dallas ISD, all of Mesquite ISD, Uplift Education, TCU Starpoint, and Big Thought. And 50% of our revenues come from the schools themselves. Okay, so that's the story today, but how did the story begin? I love music. I've always been a great saxophone player, but I was not always a great reader. And it was just because I wasn't diagnosed with ADD, but that's what I have. But I learned how to go work through those challenges as a student, and I ended up getting myself a scholarship at the Berklee College of Music. And it was there that I learned that music has so much more impact to the world than just entertainment. So I spent a lot of time researching, and I authored a book called The Art of Tone, which led to my patented methodology. As a teacher, I empathized with the students because I saw them trying to learn, trying to connect to academics. And that was the catalyst to the artist outreach. Rhythmic vocabulary is one of our patented methodologies, and what we do is we teach drum and speech at the same time. And the whole purpose is so they break up their syllables. They become more articulate, they're more fluent. We know, and research also shows, that rhythm is an excellent way to help with reading skills. So I want to demonstrate for you what we do in the classroom. This is one of our kindergarten poems. And we do it in a drum circle. And I'm going to break up the syllables with my hands. I put on my cap and I held the flag. When they sang the anthem, I couldn't wait to clap. Now, the whole purpose is so that they're using their left brain and their right brain, creating whole brain thinking. They're more cognitive, they have more retention. The students have, their speech patterns have more melody and more musicality to them. Here's the thing. We are the only organization that teaches inside of the classroom alongside of the teacher, where we fuse academics and arts together, creating a stronger, better result. And our method works. If you speak better, you read better. If you read better, you understand more. It's that simple. And our studies have shown vast improvements in both math and language skills, not to mention the students' confidence levels. Are we scalable? Absolutely. Because we create our own modules based on the teacher's needs, which allows us to go into new schools, new markets. And we're sustainable, get this, because 50% of the revenues are from the schools themselves, so that they have skin in the game. All right, I want to go back to our friend Vincent. And this is one of our measurement tools that we use to help to record their speech patterns and learn how much they're learning. He could barely get through the first 3 words, said like things. But after the artist outreach program, he was able to say the entire sentence in the same time frame. He had more bounce, he had more confidence, he was more articulate. So how can we help more students like Vincent? Well, the $60,000 prize will help another 2,200 students. The artist outreach is a story of transformation. It's a win for our students as they go from struggling to thriving. It's a win for our teachers as they have new tools in their toolbox. And finally, it's a win for our Dallas community because we're focusing on United Way's goal of reading readiness. I'm Joseph Vincelli. We're the Artist Outreach, a new way to educate. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Joseph. Great job. So, Chris, let's start with you for the judge questions.
Sure. I can't move away from the word confidence that you use and how powerful it is when you see somebody who lacks confidence gain confidence, and especially in these formative ages, just incredibly powerful. Yeah, so if I remember right, it was $60,000 let you do 2,000 more students.
It's closer to 2,200.
Okay, 2,200. Is that the biggest inhibitor to growth? Talk about, you talk about touching so many students. Is it simply a function of money, or is it really people? Or it seems like schools would really want to adopt what you have. Help us understand.
Great question. And thank you for asking for that, because we are very scalable right now. The first few years trying to connect the academics with music and art that are in opposite sides of the school to come together and actually work together was a challenge. We're past that. We now have schools in the queue waiting for our programs. We have a lot of schools of the 75 that we have. We're not in every grade level. So there's opportunities, exponential opportunities, because we can fill up each of the campuses that we have, as well as the new schools that are in the queue. Anyone else?
Yeah. Well, so with that, saw your chart, the growth chart. Mm-hmm. What's your ambition? I mean, how big do you think this can be? How many students could you impact? That's the first question. Second question, if you think about the amount of money that it takes to do this for even one student, what other methods of fundraising are you currently undertaking or thinking about undertaking?
I'll answer that one first, and then I'm going to answer the rest of the question. We do annual fundraising. in various forms, podcasts and different with parties, of course, and a lot of grant writing. And we're getting new foundations every year because it is an innovative program. So some foundations have to understand what you're doing. But as they're doing that, they stay with us. 70% of our foundations give us funding year over year over year. So we never seem to lose the same foundations. But we are, I have to say, I have an excellent board of directors of 11, and they're very committed. And a few years ago, we started working on a strategic plan so that we would grow the business 100% every 5 to 6 years, okay? Should be a solid growth. Then pandemic happened. Well, guess what? We did even better because we have portals. We were way ready for a situation like that. We didn't want that, but it allowed us to grow 60%, 30% in 2020 and 30% in 2021. And we're on track to even have a banner year this year, at least financially.
Thank you so much. I'm also a believer in music, and I see with my own children how this would be really impactful for them as they learn to read. A couple questions for you.
Sure.
One is, can you raise prices to break even?
I'm sorry,
Can you raise prices with the school districts to break even per child? And the second question is, how should we think about the funding of the instruments that you're using in the classroom?
How could we think about the...
who is paying for the instruments that the children are using in the classroom? Is that incremental or is that part of your program?
It is part of the program. We come in with everything. We come into the classroom. First of all, we're not working most of the time in the music classrooms. Remember, it's in the academic classroom. That's one of the innovations. Because remember, they only have 5.5 hours a day to teach students, and you're taking up a half an hour to 45 minutes of their time. So you better have something that's going to add to the quality of the day. We don't have any charges to them in regards to the portals, to the instruments, to the staff that comes in. It's all given to them. They also have access to the portal the entire year, so they can use it for reinforcements, assessment tools, and we give them a set price per semester, per child. And some school districts just give us a lump sum, say, what can we do with this? I say what we can match it with, and we'll get as much more than that if we can, maybe 60 or 70%, and then we put together a program. So it may be pre-K and kinder, it might be pre-K, kinder, first grade, second grade. It all depends on how they want to create it, so it's best for their uses.
And is a member of artist outreach in the classroom with the teacher, or the
yes,
teacher's trained? Okay.
Always. And we're all artists. So, many musicians, but not all. But we're all artists. And so the whole idea is that we're on the floor with the kids, and the teacher's learning from us a new type of technique. But then they have the modules to be able to use those as well. So we're giving them, we're trying to, in some small way, change education. It's not just change the lives of the students, but also the teachers, so that they're more positive coming to school that day.
Okay, we've hit the 5-minute mark. Thank you so much, Joseph. And the artist outreach.
Thank you, guys.
What an inventive practices to teach young children to learn core subjects like language and math and music. Thank you so much, Joseph. So now, before we move on to our next inspiring presenter, I'd encourage you to continue supporting United Way's social innovation. This first-of-a-kind program provides entrepreneurs like those tonight with the critical resources, funding, mentorship, and community connection that accelerate the growth and stability for their innovative ventures. Endeavors like these are an important part of building a stronger, healthier community that works for everyone. So if at any point tonight you'd like to support this initiative, you can use the QR code on your program if you're here with us at Gillies, or click the donate link on the main event page. This work would not be possible without generous people like you. Thank you again for joining us tonight and supporting the work. Now, it is time to meet our next competitor. Please welcome Shakimberly Cooper of AES Literacy Institute.
We needed Social Innovation Accelerator because we know how to help people. We didn't necessarily know how to run a nonprofit. So being a part of this program showed us the ins and outs of how to run a successful nonprofit organization where we provide value to the people we serve and to the people that invest in us. When we started AES, we really didn't know what we were doing, but we had a passion to help people. My husband almost didn't graduate high school, whereas I graduated top of the class with a 4.3 GPA. So we've always understood the importance of education and the value that it brings. When I met my husband, I had been to college and he hadn't been to college. So I helped him enroll in college and fill out his financial aid, and that really changed his life pattern as well. Texas is #1 in the nation with over 3 million adults that didn't graduate high school. 950,000 of those adults are right here in North Texas. And every year it grows by another 100,000. And the sad part about that is it's only counting adults ages 24 and older. So there's an entire population between 17 and 23 that's not even being counted. So we actually went into our community and asked them, what do you want and need from an adult education program that will get you on track to earning your equivalency diploma? And after we got that information, we set out to do it bigger, better, faster. Meet DeWanna Carter. For over 30 years, she struggled and watched friends, family, even her own children surpass her in life because she lacked the proper education. During that time, she endured 2 prison sentences, drug addiction, unemployment, and 12 long years of dead-end GED programs before finding AES. Well, we graduated DeWanna in just 6 months. After that, we helped her get her college application and financial aid application. Today, DeWanna is 1 semester away from graduating as a certified substance abuse counselor, running a successful catering business, and well on her way to a new life. Hi, I'm Kimberly Cooper, Director of AES Literacy Institute. About 1 in 6 adults in Texas lack a high school diploma or its equivalency. That's roughly 950,000 North Texans that lack the basic academic credential required by 70% of employers. In our diverse communities like Pleasant Grove, Oak Cliff, and South Dallas, 48% of the residents did not graduate high school. Race, equity, and funding play a significant role in this never-ending cycle of broken hopes, lost dreams, and strain on our state's economy. At AES, we offer multiple pathways to an equivalency diploma that's recognized both nationally and federally. We have all the elements of a traditional GED program, but AES is better, faster, and easier. We boast innovative solutions like self-paced curriculums, personalized learning plans, strategic study design, and on-demand tutoring. Get this, we are the only organization that pays for student testing and doubles as a state official testing site. At the height of the pandemic, we created the Earn While You Learn stipend, which awards our students a $50 gift card for each exam they pass. This keeps our students motivated while celebrating their success as they work towards their goal of graduation. My husband and I, we come from poverty just like the people we serve. This helps us to better understand their hardships firsthand. We understand that our students need to feel supported beyond the classroom, so we partner with a variety of other organizations to provide wraparound services such as housing and utility assistance, transportation, groceries, hygiene, and much more. Okay, they graduated, now what? Well, where we're from, we don't really think about our future because we aren't taught to believe we have one. So we take additional steps to inform our graduates of their continuing education and career options, then help them reach those goals by assisting them with completing the college and financial aid requirements, certifying for trades, or connecting with potential employers. Investing in adult literacy is critical to strengthening our economy. Winning Social Innovator of the Year means more North Texans get to graduate. With that top prize of $60,000, we can help at least 80 adults earn their equivalency diploma. On average, diploma holders earn $10,000 more per year. In just 1 year, That's a total of $800,000 combined. In 5 years, those same 80 graduates will have an increased revenue of $4 million. And that's just getting started, honey. Let me tell you about the $4.8 million we'll save taxpayers annually because these families no longer have to live in poverty. Now that's what you call metrics. Without Social Innovator, I wouldn't have ever been able to tell you that. This program taught us how to navigate the nonprofit waters and strategically plan for our future. We know that our mission and vision are solid, and we've mapped out our operating budget, goals, and outcomes into 2026. Our funding sources include building relationships with foundations, fostering support from individual and corporate donors, fundraising events, and proceeds from fee-based services in our public testing center. I promise you a diploma is not just a piece of paper. Education is the key to unlocking PPE, poverty, potential, and economic opportunity. Dewana is so significant because she suffered from every obstacle scientists predicted she would. Could you imagine struggling for over 30 years just because you didn't graduate? This equivalency diploma saves lives. Duran no longer has to sell drugs. Danessa, a mother of 5, didn't get deported. And David didn't have to go back to prison. And with your help tonight, we have the ability to make an immediate impact in the lives of North Texans that failed to graduate. Our diverse communities are filled with aspiring teachers, nurses, engineers, and business owners, and your vote can help make their dreams a reality. My time's about up, but before I go, everyone think of your favorite superhero. Isn't it awesome how they always seem to be at the right place at the right time to save a life? Well, education saves lives. You're at the right place. This is the right time. So my question is, will you go home a hero tonight?
Thank you so much, Kimberly. All right, Stephen, let's start with you.
Yes, Mr. Kimberly, I like how you asked for the order. That's good.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, you're doing great work.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about how you're identifying the students and getting them into the program.
Oh, excellent question, Stephen. Thank you. We meet them where they are. We understand them because we look like them, so we go to where they are. We go to the communities. We go to those apartment complexes that people are scared to go and knock on doors and put flyers in. We're at Big T Bazaar, at the Walmart across the street from Big T Bazaar. We're at all these places where the people who need the education, because in order to reach the people, you have to meet them where they are. So if I rode in on a high horse, they wouldn't listen to me. So I go in to right where they are and say, hey, did you graduate high school? Yes or no? Okay, well, I can help you with that. Come follow me. So that's how we find our customers. And then once that happens, it's like a fire starts. One person graduates, the neighborhood knows, one person tells another person, and our doors just keep rolling. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, first of all, I really love your answer to that one and how you're meeting people where they are.
Thank you.
But you're also bringing the wraparound services, so it's not just one dimension, but you thought it through in a lot of different ways. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Very great. My question is, when you think aspirationally for the 950,000 people that have this need, how do you think about scaling?
Scaling is, for us, serving at least 200 students annually. If we can get $250,000 for the next 3 years, we'll be able to help those students. Our ultimate goal is to reach that younger population so that we can align with United Way's Aspire 2030 goals. So 17 to 24. So we have this unique plan that if we can go into the high schools and work a relationship with counselors and principals and find out who are those students that failed to graduate within the last 5 years and get their contact information, then we can work directly with the ISDs and other organizations, and they'll connect us to the people that they know that need it, and I feel like that way we could grow rapidly. Thank you.
Kimberly, I'm so fired up about what you're doing, and I think it just makes a tremendous impact for people for the rest of their lives to be so empowered. Something I'm curious about is on the public testing center side. This feels like something that could be just a massive revenue generator that allows you to do more good in the community. I want to understand today, where does that sit as far as maybe even just a percentage of revenue, and where do you think that could go?
About 25% revenue. Our testing center is pretty new. We had some changes that went on in the state of Texas that caused us and forced us to innovate and think outside of the box. When we began our mission, there were 3 alternative tests that you could take to earn your equivalency diploma. Now we're back down to 1, and that's only the GED. So what we have done was we crossed state lines to open up another testing center at Oklahoma so that our students can have access to multiple resources. So with that, thank you. And with that, we had to GED is a byproduct of Pearson VUE. Pearson VUE also does a ton, over 5,000 industry certifications. So those certifications, in the future, hopefully we'll be able to implement those into our program. So as we continue to grow and more people learn about our testing center and our availability, I feel like we will keep those doors rolling and just be off the hook.
Incredible. Kimberly, I have a question for you.
Yes.
First of all, I love what you're doing, and
Thank
I love
you.
that it's beyond education, right? I think the numbers are startling, but thank you for shedding light on the metrics.
Thank you.
So you mentioned earlier that in talking to folks that are part of this, you asked them, what do you need to succeed in this type of program? And you mentioned sort of dead-end GED programs. So give me some examples of the things that they said they needed and how you sort of crafted what you're doing to address it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Billy Jo.
Sure.
Well, when we went out into the community and spoke with everyone, a lot of what we were hearing was the curriculum that they were forced to study was not related to the test material at all. So they were getting outdated information that really was just a waste of time. And if that wasn't the problem, then they will go to this program and be in program 6 months, years, 2 years, do all this free studying, but then when it's time to take a test, they have no idea where to go because the prep center is not a testing center, and or they don't pay for it. So by everyone that we deal with pretty much being socioeconomically in poverty, then they can't afford to pay for these tests. So that was one of the main barriers. Another barrier is the technology. 42% of the residents in the southern sector don't have active internet access. So that's another problem that's holding them back. So we offer technology assistance to those students. So those are some of the main barriers. Strict schedules, outdated curriculums, those were the main things that everyone was voicing. So we made sure that we removed all of those stipulations to allow our students to progress at their own pace.
Thank you, Kimberly. We are out of time. That was AES Literacy Institute. What an incredible organization to assist individuals who didn't graduate from high school, earn their degree, while also providing those critical wraparound and support services. Great info, Kimberly. All right, 3 down and 2 to go. I can already tell that the judges in our audience will have a very tough decision to make when we vote in just a bit. And that decision is about to get even more difficult when you meet our next fantastic organization, Shireen Abdullah of Yumlish.
Pre-Yumlish, I was working as a management consultant, making lots of money for lots of different people, utterly unhappy with what I was doing. And at that time, I received a chronic condition diagnosis. In all my naivety, I asked my doctor what I could do differently in my health, and at that time he told me, eat healthy. But what is really missing from a point of care is, well, how do I do that, right? What does it mean within the context of the foods that I'm eating every day, 3 times a day? There is something to be said for competent nutrition education that can be culturally adapted for the individual and provide them care within the context of the foods that they eat that is respectful to their background, and that's what I really set out to create. Yumlish provides culturally competent nutrition education focused on the Hispanic community with diabetes and pre-diabetes, and we also address socioeconomic barriers that may keep someone from eating healthy. When we first started the program, we were just eyes and ears open. We didn't even know what the program needed to look like, how we would scale it, what that would look like. The Social Innovation Accelerator program really came at a very optimal time. Where our company was a year ago, where we are today, is just miles and miles apart. It's incredible to have gone through the program, to learn so much from a content standpoint, but I've also really widened our social network here in the community, the North Texas community, to be able to grow and scale our program.
I would like to introduce you to Carla. Carla is of Hispanic origin. She is a grandmother of 4. She works at a cafeteria, receives a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, and the best advice her physician can provide to her is to stop eating tortillas and white rice, really in an effort to get her to eat healthy and get her blood sugars under control. That's a battle lost. We have to ask ourselves, what tools are we providing someone like Carla to in fact enable her to eat healthy? Carla now needs to undergo surgery to essentially remove tissue around a bruise on her right foot. If she's not able to get her blood sugars under control, though, they will need to amputate her foot. Amputate her foot. Carla is not alone. She's one of over 1 million Hispanics living right here in Texas who have diabetes, who are at risk for diabetes, with complications like amputation, kidney failure, blindness, and even premature death. But I am here to tell you that 90% of these cases can be avoided by making lifestyle changes. However, existing solutions take a one-size-fits-all approach, really alienating Carla, her culture, her food, and are delivered using complex apps that Carla has no idea how to use. That's where we came in. At Yumlish, we have created a culturally competent nutrition program, really immersed ourselves in the community and understood foods like chile rellenos and enchiladas, and understood that by portion control and modifying ingredients, we can give her the same taste and flavor and still control those blood sugar levels. We got our curriculums approved by the CDC and the American Diabetes Association. And thank you. And we wrapped all of this in a tech-enabled service to be able to scale this broadly. And the best part for Carla, everything is delivered using web and text, really meeting her where she is in a manner that's most comfortable to her. And it worked. Through the primary test for diabetes, we have seen an improvement of 30%. Now, for context, just a 20% improvement cuts that risk of that foot amputation I mentioned for Carla in half. That's the power of culturally competent care. And we are winning every day. Thanks to the SIA program, we have driven partnerships with the United States Air Force, the National Institute on Disability, the CDC, the NIH, and American Diabetes Association, mic drop. And we have tremendous growth planned ahead, going from 500 eligible patients in all of last year to 4,000 in just Q1 of this year. And we're driving tremendous success by working with clinics starting right here in North Texas. And we can do this work soon enough. I want to tell you the story of Juan, who migrated to the United States in the 1990s to provide for his family back home in Mexico. His diabetes essentially started with numbness in his hands and dizziness. It progressed so poorly, so quickly, that it led to his premature death. You see, Juan hadn't seen his parents in decades. And the next time his parents would see their son again, it would be in a casket. This didn't need to happen. Our dietitians are working tirelessly every single day to provide care to our patients in their homes, in their kitchens, as you can see in the shrimp taco example. It's a cooking demonstration. But I haven't even told you the best part yet. We have cracked the code on sustainability. Get ready, y'all. We are able to bill insurance and clinics for the work that we are doing, costing our patients all of $0. We are able to build on that success. We're certainly working with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas today and expanding our footprint, working with other health insurance companies as well. Until we're self-sustainable, we need this prize to be able to double in size. We are going from 4,000 to ideally 8,000 with this support in this quarter, expanding to these geographic regions. If you look at the minority health population today, and if there's one place you want to start by helping communities of color, the number one problem to address is diabetes. There is just no other way forward. We have to write Carla's story a little bit differently than Juan's. I would like each one of you to wiggle your toes That's right, yeah. Wiggle, judges, wiggle your toes. That feeling, that body part, that's what Carla stands to lose. We're on a mission to eradicate diet-related chronic illnesses so that Carla gets the care that she deserves. Join us.
Thank you, Shireen. Great job. Jorge, let's start with you.
Thank you, Shireen. You know, it's such an important issue that you're addressing, and you're bringing new, innovative ways to do it. And you're merging nutrition, but with science and a whole lot of other knowledge that you guys are bringing to the table. And you're creating new innovations. So, my question is, how do you think about attracting new customers? So you're trying to grow to 50,000, I saw. How are you going to scale it up, and how do you meet your customers where they are?
Great question. So for us, we're really drawing partnerships with clinics in the community. So the various logos that you saw on that slide, we've started out there. We are already at 6 clinics, which is 4,000 eligible patients for us. We want to double in size. That's another 6 clinics. I mean, honestly, our model is set up in such a way that we can be sustained through the revenue that we're generating by billing insurance. So it's really a matter of getting out there, educating these clinics, telling them the value of the program that we provide, and getting them to send patients to us.
How do you serve patients that are uninsured?
Yes. So we do a combination of different things there. We also, I mentioned earlier that we bill insurance and we also bill clinics. So if someone is uninsured, clinics usually end up picking up that cost, or we do a combination of insured, uninsured within the class, but we certainly accommodate for uninsured patients as well.
Thank you.
Shireen?
Okay. I am so impressed with your partnerships and how you've spun those up so quickly. Your engagement rate is through the roof, 90% weekly engagement rate. I'm a marketer. That is wild.
Thank you.
So how should we think about the ways that you're scaling? You scaled actually very quickly.
Yes.
What does that look like?
It looks incredible. No, we've had tremendous success. I mean, quite honestly, it's the model. It has taken, if you look at other companies in this space, they have not been able to provide, really, they have failed remarkably in providing a culturally competent approach. You will see that companies who play in our space, if you open up the App Store and look at all the thousands of apps that are there today, almost virtually none of them are addressing Carla, addressing her peers, addressing underserved communities today. So for us, as we're thinking about scale, it's about being conscious of what we provide and how we're serving our customers and our patients, and really turning to them and helping them understand their care, and in return, almost learning from them on lessons of what we can continue to do better in our model and the way we provide care to them.
Quick follow-up, do you have a concept of what sort of expense it would take to open a new county, for example? It looked like on your map counties were kind of how we're expanding.
Yes, so our math essentially is the 6 clinics that we've done so far, 4,000 patients right there that come to us. It's a huge problem, which is, you know, it's terrible, but at the same time, it is helping us go from county to county. We essentially we look at these federally qualified health centers that are underserved, work with them. A lot of our business, quite honestly, is also word of mouth. We get calls, essentially, people telling us, hey, how can we work with you? Because we've just cracked that code on sustainability so well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Shireen, this is important work.
Yes, sir.
Good job.
Thank you.
Question on the operating budget. And so with growth comes complexity and cost. Can you help me with the shape of the operating budget? I mean, how much of it is fixed and how much of it will grow with the more business that you have?
Yeah, so we're aimed to essentially break even by this time next year. We're generating revenue. Like I mentioned, we have a sustainable path to continue to generate revenue. It's really a matter of expansion. We have some unit costs we need to bring down at this point, but we're working hard at it to really be able to drive that tech-enabled service, to set up automations, so that, again, we can drive that scale across this amazing growth that we've had.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shireen?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. So I really like what you're doing, and I think it's really important that you've acknowledged, in terms of food, culture is embedded.
Yes,
and so to say don't eat that is a bit unrealistic, right? So I love what you're doing. I have a question around sort of the technical or technology access. So you talked about web and text. Certainly there must be sort of underrepresented areas that may not have that type of access. How do you handle that?
What we have seen during COVID is that there has been drastic, essentially, adoption of web and text. That's one of the things that we've learned is that by bringing everyone virtual with their kids sitting on Zoom, they understand web and text. Now, when we start talking apps and App Store and remembering your Apple ID, that's where we lose them. We've seen the prevalence, essentially, data shows us that a good 85% of the population we're able to reach them. 85% of our target population, we're able to reach them using web and text.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we're out of time. Thank you so much, Shereen.
Thank you.
Thank you. So interesting that your work uses AI-powered cultural nutritional therapy solutions to address the socioeconomic barriers to dietary adherence. So thank you. Great job from Yumlish. And now it is time for our final competitor to pitch to you this evening. Please join me in welcoming Shelley Ross of Wesley Rankin Community Center.
When the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge was installed, they originally called it the Bridge to Nowhere. No one could understand why they would put a bridge that would come over into West Dallas. But if you take a look at our windows, you'll see the exact reason that people want to live in West Dallas. We have a great view of downtown, and our neighborhood has really changed because of that. What we're seeing in the families who have lived here a really long time is we're seeing an increase in taxes. And that, of course, happens anytime development happens. But for a lot of our families, our students are having to go to work and even get higher paying jobs to bridge that gap to help bring in more family income. And because of that, they take quick jobs, mostly in fast food, that aren't really giving them the skills that set them up for school and doing their homework and college education, nor are they getting the skills needed to make a higher income post-minimum wage. The Wesley Rankin Aspiring Professionals Program is a pre-apprenticeship for high school students with a four-prong approach: technical skills in auto repair and business tech, soft skills where you're paired with a mentor to learn, parent education, and last but not least, we're paying students to learn to really relieve that burden of family income. And we're also teaching financial literacy. It was in our third year of the program that we applied to the Social Innovation Accelerator program, and we are so grateful we did. The amount that we achieved, even in a semester with mentors, that would have been unheard of otherwise. Now we're ready to show the impact that we're creating, and our board is now able to take on that plan and know exactly how we can scale.
Shelley Ross, and I am proud to represent an organization tonight that's been innovating for the last 85 years. We're an old organization with a new idea, and I'm here to tell you about our latest, the Aspiring Professionals Program. We're looking to change the living wage in West Dallas. I want you to meet Melissa. When Melissa was in third grade, she had such a strong determination. She thought she could do anything, whether we put her on a ropes course or gave her a math problem. So when she said she wanted to be a nurse one day, she believed that. I mean, we believed that. We believed that the world she existed in and her Dallas ISD school was enough to fulfill her dreams. But you see, sometimes people are born into systems and it's not by choice. This is the opportunity to take a look at the West Dallas statistics when we compare it to the city of Dallas. According to this, Melissa has a 69% chance less of completing college. In fact, she might not even be employed, and if she is, she's low employed. Those wages are going to be 39% lower, leaving Melissa and her neighbors, which is about 12,000 people, underprepared, underemployed, and underpaid. But there's a solution. You see, Wesley Rankin's been around so long, we're taking a look at patterns, and we're building systems to intersect those patterns. And this is how this program was born. Take a look at these four-part approaches. According to our model, Melissa has technical skill training. She had her choice of auto repair or business technology, chose business tech. It is with these skills that she will attain a position. She's paired with a mentor, and they learn soft skills like initiative, time management, organization. These are the skills so Melissa can maintain her position. And of course, we're paying students to learn so they can have income for families. We see that as an opportunity to teach financial literacy. And last but not least, let's talk about parent education. That is precisely where your generational learning happens. We've got to make sure what's happening in the classroom is mirroring or is encouraged at home. Not only have we been around so long, I know y'all get the point on that, that makes it sustainable, and also the fact that our entire model is built on collaborations. It's not just Wesley Rankin. These people are teaching our kids and also hiring them afterwards. And we only look for the best of the best when it comes to our students. Our model is not how fast and how furious. It's not how many and how quickly. We turn it on its head a little bit and we say, how deep do we need to go to fill these gaps? What do these students need to learn? And everything is different based on the student. But with that top prize tonight, we can't help but think about scalability, and that would be about 56% for us. That's also in addition to sharing our models with other neighborhoods of need. And again, do not forget about that generational learning that happens in the home from sibling to sibling. 90% of our students will qualify for apprenticeships. They'll be employed or in post-secondary education. And with our 2 tracks, their starting wages is at $55,000. And let me say, thank you, and let me say that this is all encompassed by about 30 metrics we're using to show impact along the way. So here's the deal. Melissa is one of the most intelligent, most brightest, strongest students I know. When I met her family 12 years ago, I couldn't help but see the gifts she could offer her neighborhood and the world. I also couldn't help but wonder what higher living wages would do for her family. It would be the difference of parents spending more time with their children. It would be being able to stay in a developing neighborhood of change. It gives our families choices and opportunity. We believe at Wesley Rankin that our students deserve their dreams. We believe that they deserve a living wage that reflects their true value. So judges tonight, please remember Wesley Rankin in your scoring. Audience, we need those votes. And to Melissa, who is here tonight, and to the aspiring professionals class tuning in with their coaches, may you know that you are worth more than these statistics. May you know you are worth so much more, and the city has so much to gain from you. May we be brave and bold enough to want to see it too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Billy Joe, let's start off with you.
Hi, Shelley. So I do have just a couple questions for you. So it sounds like you started in 2019.
We did.
And have there been students that have gone through your 4-step program?
Not entirely.
Not fully, because it's still new?
Right. When we started it, it was a little bit of, we can't watch another graduation class graduate and not have the skill set and the living wage to reach their potential. We just couldn't. I mean, we have all these kids in after school mostly. And so for us, it was like, we need to start now. I would love to say we had the blueprints planned and we knew which grades to start with, but we didn't. We started with a prerequisite class that encompassed everything we thought that could get our kids hired. And that included grades from 9th all the way through senior grade. And it was only in that next year that we started looking and starting with only 9th and 10th grade. And so those kids will graduate this year.
Got it. Good job. For
Sure.
you. So in terms of the mentors, how do you find the mentors, and what is your plan to keep folks engaged in mentoring?
Yeah, for sure. When we first started, it was like who we knew and where we go. You know, we are, if you were to look at our property on a map, we are 100% in the middle of residential West Dallas. Our logo has a circle we consider ourselves pretty one with the community. So we ask community members to be mentors. We ask board members to be mentors. We threw the net wide. I will say we have 100% retention in our mentors, which is fabulous. And I am foolish to think, and y'all can tell me, you're the experts, and I've learned a lot in this program, I'm foolish to think that we can get funding and mentors and employment from the same corporations and foundations. I just do. I think that there are people out there needing jobs, middle skill jobs. We know it's everywhere. And so I honestly think it would make sense for people to be part of the mentoring process to know that they could get those kids and what they were getting on the other end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great that you're teaching employable skill to people that otherwise might be challenged to go through 4 years of college and get a profession that way if they were to even make it. So thank you for what you're doing. I guess my questions would be, you showed the chart on what the United Way money would allow you to do. One could infer from that that money is the biggest inhibitor to growth. That may or may not be accurate. If you could talk about that, number one, and number two, your community partners, that was a great list. Do they provide more than just job opportunity? Do they provide funding? And so how does your budget work?
So let me start with the latter question, a little bit about our partners. We've learned a lot in United Way. As we said, at one time we were trying to write our own curriculum for auto repair, if you can only imagine. And then we found, of course, that people can do it 10 times easier and better. That comes with the cost, right? One of the things we found in this program is that there's a lot of red tape around fields for students to learn in high school. And for our students, they have to learn in high school. They can't begin their training outside of high school when they're supposed to be making a wage for their family. And so for us, it's got to happen before 18, and there's so much red tape around training kids under 18. Even in auto repair, we had to go Dallas College. There's not a shop in the city that will let us train there. So those people are helping us train. Some of them are summer employment, and then others are like BT Foundry and Dallas College are our primary training, absolutely.
Yeah. And then biggest inhibitor to growth?
Yeah, absolutely money, right? The whole model is built on relationship. I've racked my brain on things we could purchase and discard, but I can't. It's paying people to build intentional relationship, and for me to cut funding, I'm cutting someone else's living wage. So it's definitely cost. Thank you.
Could you tell me more about your multi-generational approach? I agree that that is so important for them to have just support at home and understanding at home.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the assets of West Dallas is what people know they share. I mean, it even goes for like food and resources, right? I'll keep your kids if you clean my house and we'll just make it work. And the same thing works for education as well. And so what people know, they share. And so if we educate just students, there's not guaranteed that that knowledge is going home and training parents. For a lot of kids, they do. Melissa will tell you she goes home and talks to her parents and educates them. But we've got to make sure that the parents are being cooperative in the education too. And I'll share this one story. We had this one student who was always late, and we're tracking time management, right? And come to find out when we had that conversation, it was because his mom lost her keys every morning, right? And so we can see how the kids will only be as great as their parents' support along the way. And so we educate parents simultaneously with students so that they understand that the world of professionalism might look a little different than in the home, but that should be supported. And then, of course, there's always just the passing down of knowledge to siblings that just happens in West Dallas.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you very much. What an inspiring program that gives students the choice to choose their career path or use their skills to fund their college education. So thank you so much, Wesley Rankin Community Center. So it's been an impressive night, hasn't it? Yeah? Incredible. What a phenomenal group of organizations, with each one already making a big impact in our community. Thank you again to our amazing judges for all of those thoughtful and informative questions. Round of applause for our judges. The judges are going to exit, and they're going to tally their scores to deliberate, and they're going to come back shortly with the results. And now it is time to cast your vote as well. So I know it won't be easy, but please select the organization that you believe most deserves the Audience Choice Award presented by Sarah and Gary R., totaling $25,000 in funding for their work. All you have to do is simply scan that QR code on your program or click on the voting link on your event page and enter the code UWMD. Voting is open now. And again, that code to enter is UWMD. So voting is going to remain open only for 10 minutes. So please log in now. While you're voting, I'd like to welcome someone so special to the stage, the McDermott Templeton, President and CEO of United Way of Metro Dallas. We are so fortunate to have her as a leader in our community, and I am so fortunate to call her my friend, Jennifer Sampson.
Wow, it's great to see you all live and in person back at the pitch. Thank you for being here tonight. And I don't know how you're feeling, but the inspiration that we've seen on the stage tonight from these social entrepreneurs is mind-blowing. The work that they're doing to change lives in North Texas is making an enormous impact, and you all in our judges panel have a big job in front of you tonight. But while we're celebrating social innovation tonight, I want you to know that United Way of Metropolitan Dallas, to us, social innovation is bigger than just one program. It's bigger than just tonight. We are finding, funding, and supporting solutions to address the systemic issues we see in our communities, and that's at the heart of everything we do at United Way. Tonight's accelerator is part of United Way's larger portfolio of social innovation programs that we call the Innovation Lab. And I'm particularly proud of our newest Innovation Lab program, the Incubator, because it's focused on early stage organizations that are built by women and entrepreneurs of color. We successfully completed our first cohort of 19 graduates this past fall, and we're looking forward to launching another cohort this summer. So we hope that all of you in the audience and everyone who's watching online tonight will continue to lean in with us and connect and learn about all of the programs that are a part of our social innovation ecosystem. So as we talk about the incredible work occurring throughout North Texas to positively impact lives through the work that our innovators and entrepreneurs are doing, I want to express thanks to the incredibly generous sponsors and donors who make this work possible each and every year. And I know that it will not be easy, but I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor, please, and hold your applause until the very end of this recognition section, okay? Deal? Yes? Okay, because we've got a lot of people to thank. Okay, first, I want to wholeheartedly thank our friends at AT&T for being the presenting sponsor of the pitch tonight and each year leading up to tonight. That's 6 years of sponsorship, so let's give, oh, sorry, I'm about to break my own rule. The support of AT&T, they've been with us from the very beginning, and their support of this event and so many of the programs that are connected to social innovation at large, it's been catalytic. So I want to thank AT&T. I want to thank Ann Chow for joining us again as MC tonight. This is her 3rd year to MC the pitch, and she does a fantastic job. I hear little claps. I want to thank her for her passion for innovation, not only at the company, not only at AT&T, but across the North Texas community. Her enthusiasm is contagious, and I think you see that. We're honored to have Ann's leadership. As she said, she's also our annual campaign chair, not just this year, but this is her 2nd year. She's done it for the last 2 years, and 2 years that have been unlike any other for all of us. So her leadership has been extraordinary. She's achieved record-breaking results in our community, and we're just so grateful for her support of innovative impact right here in North Texas. I also want to express my great gratitude to United Way of Metropolitan Dallas's board chair, Charlene Lake, who is with us here in the front tonight. Charlene is the Chief Sustainability Officer at AT&T, and Charlene masterfully leads our board, and she helps me and my team at United Way of Metropolitan Dallas become better leaders every day. So it's Charlene's commitment to innovation that propels our collective work and our measurable impact forward. And as you heard earlier tonight, our social innovation program is making a difference, making an impact each and every year. So the year-round program is investing in capital and mentorship and promising social ventures that are focused on creative solutions in the areas of education, income, and health, which we believe at United Way are the building blocks of thriving communities. So our goal is for the seeds of these investments to be magnified through the community impact work that will surely result from the work of these amazing social entrepreneurs. So you're hearing from the best of our current year accelerator entrepreneurs tonight. These are the 5 top out of a program that includes, in any given year, 10 to 11 social entrepreneurs. So again, even as we celebrate our pitch contestants tonight and the winners of the awards that you're going to hear, we're also taking applications for the next cohort of our accelerator class. So if you're running in the social entrepreneur circles, which you are because you're here tonight at the pitch, please refer all change makers and innovators in your networks to United Way. Encourage them to apply to be a part of the next cohort of the accelerator. So this work, as you all know, would not be possible with year after year without the generous support and consistent funding from our sponsors and our investors. And I first want to say a very special thanks to Accenture. Jorge Corral, who is a judge this evening, and his incredible team at Accenture work with our team at United Way each and every day. And we also want to express sincere thanks to all of our additional supporting sponsors tonight. You can find them listed in your program. They've been up on the screens this evening. Hopefully you saw them when you walked into Gillies tonight. Special thanks to the Eugene McDermott Foundation. I see Grace Cook right there on the second row, and her mother was here with us tonight. Their first investment in our Social Innovation Accelerator has expanded to the incubator program. So we thank you for your generous support, Grace and your mom and the Eugene McDermott Foundation. Santander, their ongoing commitment to social innovation makes our boot camp possible for the Social Innovation program each year. Sarah and Gary are the presenting sponsor of the Audience Choice Award. We thank you for your generous support. As United Way lifers, as we like to say, the R's are super volunteers in social innovation, and we're so grateful for their partnership. Carol and Kevin March, who I have not seen personally yet tonight, but I know they're in the room, are longtime volunteers and supporters of United Way. The March's newest venture, as you heard Ann mention tonight, is the March Tocqueville Fellows. And this program is developing the next generation of leaders and hand raisers and life changers in North Texas. Our current 2 classes of March Tocqueville Fellows are assisting us tonight with the judging process, by awarding the Innovation Prize. So thank you, Kevin and Carol, for inspiring the next generation of leaders to a lifetime of philanthropic involvement. Next, in addition to serving as trusted advisors and mentors, Chris, who is also serving as a judge tonight, and his wife, Ashley Kleinert, and their extended family have been instrumental supporters of the pitch event and social innovation at United Way over the past several years. We are grateful to the Kleinert Foundation for their longstanding support and for their sponsorship of the March Fellows Prize this evening that our March Fellows are going to deliberate on. Sunny Vanderbeck and Satori Foundation have continued their support of the Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, and we're incredibly grateful to Satori for this prize, going to the finalists with the highest organizational sustainability score as determined by our judges. Toyota has returned as our Impact Prize sponsor this year, and we're grateful for their partnership and support as an impact investor since the company's move to North Texas back in 2014. We're also delighted, as you saw, to have Billy Joe Johnson on the stage as a pitch judge tonight. Additional sponsors and funders, it's a long list, I know, and we're grateful for it, include the Hoagland Foundation, I see Kelly on the front row, the Musi Foundation, Melanie and Scott Shainvogel, PNC, Vistra Corp, and Charles Schwab. And Forward DFW, who I know is here tonight in partnership with the Dallas Morning News, is our media partner this evening. If it weren't for SVP Dallas, many of you know that social innovation might not even be on the map here in North Texas. So we want to say special thanks to Tony Fleo and his team at SVP Dallas for their continued support, leadership, and friendship. And I can't leave out Teens United. Let me hear you, Teens United. I hear you. I know you're in the house tonight. Your enthusiasm for volunteerism is contagious, and we're so excited that you're here. This is our team group of next generation volunteer leaders of philanthropy and volunteerism at United Way. They'll be presenting the award for best presentation this evening. So we are deeply grateful for all of our sponsors and supporters. They're investors in the future of social innovation at United Way, and their support helps underwrite the grants and the prizes that we'll be giving away in just a few minutes. So last on the thank you list, but first in our heart, I want to extend a huge thank you to the Innovation Lab Committee and mentors who invest so much time and energy offering guidance, coaching, support, mentorship to all of our fellows who you've seen pitch tonight in support of their long-term success. We couldn't do this work without those committee member leaders and mentors, and I want to express special thanks to you, including special thanks to our Innovation Labs chairs, Amber Wagenknecht and Sean Lehman, who we saw earlier tonight at a special reception. So I'm going to ask all of our Social Innovation Accelerator, Social Innovation Lab volunteers to please stand and be recognized. And now at this moment, it's time for thunderous applause for all of our sponsors and volunteers. It's so great to see all of you tonight. Thank you for your leadership. So next, we have a special treat this evening. While our judges are deliberating and determining and finalizing their votes for tonight's prizes, I want to welcome back to the stage two Social Innovation Accelerator alumni to tell us a little bit about what they've been doing since their performance on the big stage at the pitch. First, we are throwing it way back to 2013 with our first inaugural investment through the Social Innovation Accelerator. Please welcome Chad Hauser, founder, CEO, and executive director of Cafe Momentum. Chad.
Thanks for calling out how old I am.
And joining Chad tonight, the Social Innovator of the Year winner from last year, from 2021, Sherry Garcia of Cornbread Hustle. She's joining us tonight for a little chat on the stage about social innovation. Want to give you a hug? Okay. So I feel like I'm the one that's going to go home a hero tonight because I get to talk to these two social innovation rock stars about what they've been up to since they've been on the stage. And it feels a little bit like a family reunion to be with both of you. We have 10 minutes, okay? So only 10 minutes. We could talk for a long time, but we have to keep it tight and brief. And so I'm going to ask each of you to please give a one-sentence, I know that might be hard for you, Chad, a one-sentence mission statement highlight for our audience, for those in the audience who might not be as familiar with your work. And I want to hear a little bit from both of you about how your involvement in the United Way Social Innovation Accelerator helped the trajectory of your organization's impact and growth over the years.
All in one sentence.
All in like 1 minute. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. First, I'm supposed to remind you to tell all these wonderful people how to pull out their phones and use the QR code to go on and vote.
Oh, well, okay. There you had it. And from Chad, if you haven't pulled out the QR code to vote, now is the time to do it. The voting stays open for a few more minutes.
And that is the mission of Cafe Momentum. Thank you all very much. I used to tell Jennifer that Cafe Momentum was taking kids out of jail and teaching them to play with knives and fire. Yep. But we've grown since then. So now I'll just say this. Our restaurant and program can, is, and should be the new model for juvenile justice in this country.
Amen. Sherry?
Cornbread Hustle is a staffing agency for second chances, meaning we help people coming out of prison or people in recovery find meaningful employment.
Amen. Congratulations on your win last year. I think that was a sweep. That's what they described as what you did last year as a sweep. Okay, so.
I just want to point out that you also, congratulations on your win last year. The oldest person on stage to have ever come out here and done it. Thank you for calling out my age, Jennifer.
You're our inaugural investment.
That's right.
I mean,
I was
the
very young.
crown
I was
jewel at that
18 back
time.
then.
That's right. Well, tell us a little bit about your connection to the accelerator and how it's helped with your impact and growth over the last number of years.
Well, I think just being a part of the program creates validation as an organization. I'm sure you felt it. I know I watched 5 people here tonight. Being a part of anything that the United Way puts together as an organization gives you validation that your work is meaningful and that the community believes in you. So I think that you start from there. But for me personally, in echoing through the culture of our organization, I think it starts with you, Jennifer. And I've said this not in your presence before, but what you do for our community is you think big. You dream big, you do big, you're not afraid to conquer big problems, you're not afraid to take big approaches and bold approaches. And I think that translates into all the organizations that United Way works with, certainly Cafe Momentum, so that when we thought about solving, looking at juvenile justice, looking at justice-involved youth in Dallas, we began to ask ourselves bigger and bigger questions as to what are we really trying to solve? Are we really trying to solve housing and education and workforce development, or are we really trying to solve a system that traps young people and never lets them out? And so that has inspired us to build Cafe Momentums across the country, which we're doing now.
Yeah, that's really exciting, Chad. Congratulations on your scaling. I want to come back to that in just a minute. I have some questions on scaling. I'm curious because you've been, across the country and you've learned a lot. But before I do, I want to kick it to Sherry to talk a little bit about your experience in the accelerator and how that's impacted your impact and growth.
It's been a major impact for us. So last year when I stood on stage, I told you guys that in 2020 we hired 300 people. And in 2021, we hired 1,000 people.
Wow.
So we more than tripled our hiring. Also, to speak to the credibility, when we go into companies, we go into some pretty big companies. So there's board members and there's executives. Some people aren't for hiring people with criminal records and some are. And so all the time, every single time I see someone do a presentation or I see a forwarded email, it's an HR person saying, but she won Social Innovator of the Year. And I'm always like, weak. So it's really helped us get more business and get bigger employers say yes to second chance hiring because of the credibility that you guys gave us.
Well, congratulations to you on that growth. It's phenomenal. We're so proud of you. So you're both scaling, you're both growing, expanding services, expanding impact, expanding scope. As you grow as an organization, I'm sure there are many times that opportunities come your way that could take you off course and take you off mission. And how do you use your judgment and discernment to try to stay focused on what matters most? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Because you know how hard of a question that is. I'm distracted every single day. I feel like I'm distracted because there's so many opportunities we have, not only inside of prison, but outside of prison. So we just try to focus on impact, and that's what you guys taught us to do. So whenever I'm looking at an opportunity, I just think to myself, which one is going to make the most impact and which one is most scalable? So for instance, we thought it could be a major distraction for us to go to Arkansas, but when they said they wanted to hire 200 people, we said, well, that makes a pretty big impact. So we packed our bags, we went out there, and we opened up an office in Arkansas, and it's still standing. So we have to, somehow, still standing, we have to really just analyze every opportunity we get and say, okay, what's the impact and what's the scalability here? Is it scalable?
That's fantastic. So you're in Arkansas and Texas and 2 states.
Next year, it might be a couple more, but
okay.
For now, it's Arkansas and Texas.
Arkansas and Texas, driving impact. That's fantastic. So you're in Pittsburgh and Nashville.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think kind of going back and kind of echoing a bit of what you said and adding to it is that for us, it's just about following your North Star. And I think one of the things that I'm most proud of with Cafe Momentum is that the organization was not built on the backs of academic research and copious amounts of data. It was built on the knowledge that the young people that we serve provide for us as to what they need to truly achieve their full potential in life. So I think as long as we keep that priority, and as we go into communities around the country, we don't go in saying we know exactly what you need, because we recognize that communities are not monolithic. Right. And so we go in listening. And we listen to the young people, and we listen to folks that work with the young people, so that we're understanding how our model reflects the needs of the community, and it's built specifically to the community.
Fantastic. How many young men and women have moved through the program to date? And what is the economic impact on what you've been able to do in their lives and for the city?
Eric Johnson, if you're listening, you owe me $50 million. Mike Rawlings never paid, and it just keeps adding up. We've worked with over 1,000 young people, and the $50 million is directly reflective of the reduction in recidivism that we've created doing the program. You guys are clapping, but I'm about to throw myself under the bus because we listen to the young people that we serve, and they don't want their lives to be judged by their ability to stay out of jail. They want their lives to be judged by their ability to graduate high school, graduate magna cum laude for college, and be a medical assistant in the gastrointestinal unit of Children's Hospital, because that's their full potential in life. So we do look at things that over 1,000 young people served, 54% come to us as high school dropouts, 100% are in high school and on track to graduate through our Cafe Momentum school, and almost a third are entering college, because that tells a much bigger story, and that's a much bigger economic impact that's almost immeasurable when you begin to break those generational cycles, and the young people are doing it themselves.
That's fantastic. You know, as I think about it, I mean, Chad, you've always talked about the Cafe Momentum being the restaurant of second chances. But the business you're both in the business of second chances. Can you talk a little bit or reflect on when you were starting this work? You've learned a lot, you're growing, you're scaling. What do you wish you would have known then that you know now that could have influenced or changed course of the trajectory of what you're doing?
Gosh.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I wish I would. CEO seemed like a cool title, and and prestigious, and like you don't have to do much because you're CEO.
Is that so, Jennifer?
I know. Whoa! I'm laughing with you.
Haunting laughter. Yeah.
And yeah, CEO. When people tell you as a new entrepreneur, you got to learn every job in the business, and you have to become a good manager, even if you don't like people. You do, or else you're not going to be a great CEO. So, yeah. I wish I would have been a little more prepared for what CEO. Everyone tried to prepare me. I guess I wish I would have listened. How about that?
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
So do you wish that you would have known how impactful it would have been to incubate the early stage of Cafe Momentum inside of the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas building? You wish you would have known that earlier? Everything you learned?
Do you wish you would have known the ramifications of allowing me to have a cubicle outside of your office? And me not understanding that I was supposed to make an appointment to go inside your office instead of just barreling past Cindy and saying, I've got an idea.
I love those days.
What do you think about miniature corn dogs? I would just say, I think I would have told myself back then, stay true to your mission, because the community and the world will rally around you as long as you hold your truth. And let everything else, work around you. But you get so worried about a million different things and a million different people, and is this going to work? Is this not going to work? Are these people going to like this? Are they not going to like this? Are we going to get the funding? Are we not going to get the funding? Are the kids going to buy in this or they're not? Just push all of that out and stay true
to your North
Star, and everything else will take care of itself. Dallas proves it over and over and over again, and I think communities around the country do as well, but Dallas is the best, so.
Yeah, well, I agree. So, being here tonight, you were just up on the stage a year ago. as we've already discussed, it's been several years for you and for me. What feelings do you have when you're watching the entrepreneurs pitch tonight? Do you have like a flashback of memories from your time on the stage? You mentioned to me
PTSD.
Yeah, definitely for me. I had to come on this stage 1 month to the day after my dad died as a result of addiction. And he was supposed to be here. So it was so hard. And even today, that's why I keep almost crying, because I'm like, how did I do that? And if I wasn't in that, I don't think if I wasn't that sad and upset, I don't think my adrenaline could have handled all that winning. So I think it worked out. I was just like shocked. I was in so much shock. So being here in a better place is great, but I also align with the PTSD feeling.
Just glad to be on the other side.
Yes.
Just really, really glad to be on the other side. But also just, I watch 5 people get up here and pour their hearts out, and they're so polished.
They are.
I mean,
It's
unbelievable.
a fantastic cohort. Great job to the volunteers.